God is preparing you something bigger, just for you. Okay? Something big for you is waiting for you ahead of you right now. Alright? So by the way, my name is Aries and I'm your online BFF for today, and thank you so much for clicking my video for today, okay? Yep. Alright, so back to the topic. Okay, so what if all the denials that you're currently facing isn't actually a denial? What if all the closed doors, opportunities that, missed opportunities wasn't a punishment just for you? What if the setbacks that you are actually facing right now isn't the end of your story? All the mistreatment that you have faced. And what if God is actually preparing you something bigger for you? Because I know it's hard to believe, it's very hard to believe, like when life isn't going according to you, when prayer seems like an answer, when opportunities disappeared and all, so when you're doing everything you can, yet nothing seems to move in your way. But you see, sometimes the seasons that confuse us the most are the seasons that God is actually working hard behind the scenes, okay? Because I believe that, right? Because God is always with us. And for those of you that always pray, trust me that God is always with you. Because, and what feels like a setback today may, eventually become the reasons that you are actually grateful tomorrow or in the future, So if you're feeling discouraged right now, and disappointed and all, if you're wondering whether your effort matter, if you're losing your hope right now, girls, boys, if you're listening to this now, this message is for you. It's a reminder for you, because God may be preparing something far greater than what you can currently use, So you can imagine what is God is preparing for us. Okay, so you can't see the whole picture right now, right? Because one of the hardest parts of the faith is actually trusting when you don't even understand what's going on, right? So we want explanations, we want timelines, we want certainty and all, right? So we want to know exactly like where we are going right now and exactly how we are going to get there, right? But life rarely reveals the entire path at once, because we are not a psychic, or we are not a fortune tellers, right? In life, and we can foresee what's going to happen in the future, am I right? So instead, we are often show only the next step, and that's where trust becomes necessary. I want you to imagine trying to understand a completed puzzle while looking at only one place. It wouldn't make sense, right? It wouldn't make sense. So the same is true for many moments in life. You are looking only one chapter of your life right now. Only one chapter. Maybe it's one paragraph of a chapter. So God sees that the entire story of yours, how it's gonna play, So you are focused on today's obstacles, whatever that you have faced, God actually sees tomorrow's opportunity, your future opportunities that they're waiting for you, because you are worried that what you have lost right now, God may actually be preparing what you have yet to receive, the best thing ever. All right, so delays are not actually always denials. Remember this. Many people assume that if something isn't happening right now, like it isn't happening as you wanted, it isn't meant to happen, right? But some of the life greatest blessings require preparations and all, right? So, and think about a seed, a small seed, a plant seed. So the moment that it's planted, nothing appears above the ground, am I right? So from the outside, it looks like nothing is happening. That's right. So, but beneath the surface, actually growth has already begun in silence without anyone noticing it, right? So, we humans tend to obsess with visible outcomes, right? But actually, you need to focus more internally. Everything, all the healings and all, is happening internally. It's within yourself without you even realizing, right? So roots are forming. You're the seed. You are the seed. Each one of us are the seed, all right? Roots are forming. Strength is developing, right? Preparations is actually taking place and all. So your life may be similar season right now, a season that where progress isn't visible right now. So it's a season where patience is actually being tested to you. Patience is what you are facing right now. Oh, wait, let me sneeze. Oh, sorry, blasphemy. Okay. Sorry for sneezing because so it's it's a season. It's what you are currently facing right now is a season where you are tempted to believe that nothing is happening to you. But just because you can't see movement right now doesn't mean that God isn't working. Some blessings arrive quickly, others arrive after you have become ready to receive them and all. So God is developing you for what is coming. Just trust this process, right? So here's something many people overlook and all. God isn't only preparing the blessing, He is actually preparing you to receive the blessings, all right? So because the person that you are today may not yet be the person capable of handling what you are praying for. So the challenges that you're actually facing may be building a strength in you. So the waiting may be developing a patience and all. The setbacks may be creating wisdom. Alright? So the struggles may be teaching resilience to you. Okay? So nobody enjoys difficult seasons, right? But you see, often those seasons contain lessons that prosperity alone could never teach, because when you finally reach your destinations, you will realize that the journey actually changed you a lot. So it actually strengthened your faith and all, expanded your character, deepened your understanding, and prepare you for responsibility that you weren't ready for before. Okay, so or just remember this. Alright, so there are moments in life that when things don't work out the way we hope, and you see like a relationship ends, a job opportunity disappears, a plan falls apart, a dream seems delayed and all, no visible results, and our first reactions is obviously disappointment, right? So we ask, why did this happen to me? Or why am I so unlucky? What did I do wrong? Why am I not good enough and all? But sometimes you see, the closed doors actually wasn't a rejection at all. It was actually a protection for you. Sometimes God removed things that no longer serve your purpose. Sometimes He actually redirects you away from the paths that lead nowhere. That's why sometimes people come and go, right? So it is meant to be like that. God removed those people that are no longer serve you a purpose, okay? Because those people gonna lead you to somewhere else, further from your blessings. Okay, so sometimes what feels like a loss is actually a guidance for you. It's a redirection for you, right? Years later, many people look back and realize that the things that they once back for will have prevented them from receiving something better. That's the thing. So the pain that makes sense only after the blessings arrive. Okay, so your breakthrough may be closer than you think right now. closer than you think. Alright, so one of the greatest. Hey guys, I'm back because I paused the video just now. Alright, so yeah, yes. Okay, so one of the greatest challenge is actually continuing to believe continuous believing when nothing appears to be changing. That's the greatest challenge in faith, right? Because breakthroughs rarely announce themselves beforehand, because there is no sign saying that keep going, you are almost there. There's not that kind of sign. There is no guarantee showing exactly when is your prayer will be answered. There is only a faith to yourself, a faith to the God. I'm sorry for my mispronunciation. So it's a faith between you and God and yourself. Alright, so it's a decision to trust even when evidence is limited for you, right? So the decision is to keep moving forward even when the outcome is uncertain. Because many people quit during the waiting seasons. They give up too fast, not realizing that actually they were actually closer than they thought. Keep planting. I want you to keep planting, keep believing, keep praying, keep growing. The chapter that you're in today may be preparing you for a breakthrough that you cannot yet imagine. Like what God has for you is actually bigger than your fears. Fear often focuses on what could go wrong, right? What from my experience is like 99% the people that I met, most of them only focus on the negative part only, right? They always think of the negative, like what could go wrong, and sometimes they only focus on people's bad behavior or bad characteristic and all. That's the only thing that they focus on, not the good part, right? So they always focus on bad outcomes. What is good? What if it goes wrong and all? But you see, faith focuses on what could go right? So fear says like, what if I fail? And faith says that what if this worked out better than I expected? Because I trust that it will happen. So fear sees obstacles while faith sees possibilities, right? So I'm not saying that I want you to be overconfidence, that type of persons, but that might be something that you need to pick up on, right? So, and while fear may feel loud, faith often speaks quietly, a gentle reminder that your story isn't actually finished, right? A reminder that whatever setbacks that you are facing right now don't actually define your future, right? They don't actually define your futures. A reminder that God's plan are actually not limited by your current circumstances, because the situations that you're facing today is not greater than God's ability to create opportunities just for you, open doors, and bring unexpected blessings into your life. Because your current chapter is not your final chapter. If life feels uncertain right now, if you're tired of waiting, if you're wondering whether God has forgotten about you, and you feel like, why God treating me like shit, why God treating me unfair, why I have to live in this kind of life with no purpose, that's what you thought, right? But I want you to remember this: the waiting season is not wasted. The delay is not actually a proof that nothing is happening for you. The closed door is not proof that all doors are actually closed. All opportunities are closed just for you and all. No, God may be doing His greatest work in places that you cannot even yet see it, because he is actually preparing opportunities for you, preparing growth just for you, preparing, lessons and all, preparing blessings, and perhaps, most importantly, it's actually preparing you into your highest self. And one day you will look back at this season and understand that why things happen the way they did, because one day the confusions will become more clarity. Until then, keep trusting, keep believing, keep moving forward, even though it's slow, even though it is 1% per a day and all, because what God has planned for you may be far greater, far greater than what you are currently asking for right now. And sometimes the reason that the journey feels so long is because the destination is bigger. It's bigger than you imagine. Yeah, it's bigger than you imagine. So it's just, I want you to remember, just because you can't see what's being prepared doesn't mean that God isn't preparing something incredible for you. Okay, everyone, and thank you. That's all from me, and I hope that today's resonated with you, and I hope you guys take this as a reminder for yourself. Okay, so that's all from me, and I hope that you have a great day ahead, and drink more water. That's all. Yeah, that's all. Bye bye.